Hi everyone, Angela here. Print out the pattern at 100% letter size and check the 1-inch square on each page. Carefully cut out each piece and all the notches where indicated. I'm using quilting cotton for this project that I've washed and pressed. Do not use any of the selvage edges when cutting out your pattern pieces. With the grain lines parallel to the selvage edges, cut out all the required pattern pieces and clip the notches. For the white contrast, I'm using nursery fleece for the soft furry texture. You can also use cotton or flannel. We also need some lightweight, non-woven fusible interfacing with the glue dots on one side. You'll need interfacing for the back piece. On this back pattern piece, you'll see 4 marks for the button placements. With the glue side down, place the interfacing on top of the pattern and trace the marks. Now with the glue side up, place the wrong side of the back piece on top and press together. For the fasteners, I'm using a pair of large magnetic handbag buttons. Pull them apart and then separate the flat base with the holes from each piece. Center the base on each mark and then mark out the side slits. Then use a utility knife or scissors to cut out those small slits. For Santa's belt, I'm using 3/4 inch or 2 centimeter wide cotton twill tape. If you don't have twill tape, just cut the belt pattern out of black fabric. Fold lengthwise in half with wrong sides together and crease down the center. Open up and then fold the outer edges to that center crease and press. Next, take a 3/4 inch or 2 centimeter vest buckle or slider and center it onto the tape. Center this now on top of the piece with the 2 notches on each side. Use wax chalk to mark a line close to each side of the buckle. Pin in place down the center of the belt. Next will be edge stitching around each side of the belt, pivoting at the chalk marks. I'm using a Brother NV50S sewing machine. The link for this and the tools I use are in the description below. Make sure to use coupon code NOTCHES NV50S for the special offer. There's no need to back tack, just slide the buckle out of your way so that you can pivot around the chalk line and then repeat for the other side. With right sides together, match the edges of the white strips to the red at the top and bottom and clip in place. Stitch down both sides with a 3/8 of an inch or 1 centimeter seam allowance, back tacking at the start and finish. Open up, match the top front piece to the top white band with right sides together. Again, stitch with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, back tacking at the start and finish. Flip over to the wrong side and press the bottom seam toward the band and the center seams to the middle. On the right side, iron away the chalk marks. With right sides together, place the interface back piece on top, match the notches to the center seam, and clip both sides in place. Again, with right sides together, match the inner panels. On one seam, we're going to leave about a 3-inch opening. Stitch all the seams, back tacking at the start and finish, and double check that the seams are facing in the right direction. Press the seams of the inner panels open, making sure not to press the sides of the fabric. Press all the seams of the top panels towards the back piece. Take one side of the magnetic sets and push through the slits from inside. Place the bases on top and then flatten the prongs to each side. Repeat with the other halves. Turn the inner panels right side out, match the seams, and slide into the outer panels. Clip all around and sew together. There's no need to back tack, just overlap the stitching about 1 inch to finish. Pull out the inner panel and then press the seam allowance towards it all around. Fold it in half, matching the edges at the top. Fold the 2 inner layers out of the way, match the edges of the outer layer, match the seams, and then clip together. Again, push those inner layers out of your way, stitch a few inches, pull those inner layers towards you, and then continue stitching a little bit at a time. This is called the burrito method. Keep checking that you're not catching the inner layers. Overlap your stitching to finish. Adjust this seam so that it faces the inner panels and press all around. Go through the opening and turn it right side out. Adjust the top and bottom seams so that they're right in the center. Turn it again so that the inner panel is on the outside. Press around both seams and then close the opening. Stitch close to the folded edges, backtacking at the start and finish. Next, we need to top stitch above the magnetic buttons, starting at the seam, backtacking, stitching across, and then backtacking at the other seam. Place your presser foot just beside the button and then position your needle to the right. Take note of where the edge of your fabric is or place a magnetic edge guide beside it. Stitch and then repeat on the other side. To make the elf topper, match notches right sides together, the white center with the green sides. Clip, stitch together, and then press the seam allowances towards the center. Turn over, and then clip the white bands at the top and bottom with right sides together. Stitch, and then add the front top to the white band. Press the seams as before, and this time I'm adding the magnetic buttons before attaching the back piece. Sew the rest of the topper just as before, and then use a vanishing ink pen to mark the 3 centers of the white bands. These craft bells are about 3/4 of an inch or 18 millimeters. Cut a long length of thread, fold in half, thread the fold through your needle so that you have 4 strands, and knot them together at the end. From inside, thread your needle through the first mark and pull through. Thread your needle through the shank of the bell, and then place your needle about 1/4 of an inch or 6 millimeters above the mark and pull through slowly, making sure not to twist the thread. Stitch through the center of the mark again, through the bell, and then through that top stitch again. Do this one more time, and then on the inside, sew a couple of knots by making a loop and then sewing through it. Repeat these steps for the other 2 bells. What's great about these toppers is that you can use any size tea towel with them and change them when you need to. With the bottom of the front here, flip the towel over to the wrong side. With the magnet side up, place the bottom of the topper towards the center of the towel. Fold the sides so that it's slightly narrower than the topper. Pull the towel through and adjust it to however long you want the front. For the larger towels, just make a couple of extra folds, and if you don't want to fold it, you can just gather the towel in. Slip the back of the towel behind the bar, and it easily clips into place with a pretty good hold. Thanks again for watching. Make sure to check out my video up next.